What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Gurren Otaku Council podcast. This is episode 82, and today we got for you the Shangri-la Frontier Season 1 review. So if you'd like to join the council, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to join the council, and then just also follow us on our social media to stay up to date on everything about the council. Ladies and gentlemen, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back for another week of anime talk and discussion. Hope everybody's doing super fantastic as always. How you doing today, McMillian?
I'm doing great, my friend. How are you?
Doing good. So all right, as always, why don't you go ahead and start us off with the council announcements?
All right, so council announcements, going to start us off here with the agenda. Today we'll be giving you guys a review of Shangri-la Frontier overall season 1. We did way back when talk about like the first couple of episodes. We're here to talk about, I guess, the season in its entirety. Then we'll be moving on to anime news, weekly rec, and rounding off with the outro, as always. Then we'd like to remind you all that our Fearin' season review episode, Fearin' the Supremacy Will Continue, came out last week. So if you missed that, go ahead and check that out. And Ace's One Piece 1099 episode review is also out. So if you're a One Piece fan, go ahead and check that out as well.
All right, well, thank you for that. That is the council announcement for today. So go ahead and get started. Like he just said, with our first discussion of the day, everybody, the Shangri-la Frontier Season 1 discussion. And we are, in fact, talking about the entire season here. McMillian, thank you for that nice intro.
Well, I was like, technically, we talked about like the first 3 episodes, I think, before. So I was just
saying, feel you. But yeah,
I don't know.
We're talking about the rest of them.
Yeah.
So, last when, as you just mentioned, last when we talked about this, it was like only the first 3 episodes. But however, when we talked about this last, we also made a very, very bold statement.
Well, very bold for you.
Very bold statement.
I was about to say it's not that bold for me.
And that statement was, this show, it has surpassed SAO, which in my opinion, still, it has done that. It just look, all right, let me go ahead and pause right here. To all my SAO fans, look me in the eyes right now, because I'm also a diehard SAO fan, everybody. I'm one of you, okay? But it's time to let it go. We've been surpassed. Shangri-La got it. All right?
Never thought this day would come. We here.
Shangri-La got it, because Log Horizon, it had its time. If Log Horizon actually came back with some seasons and stuff, maybe Log Horizon could have took the cake. But they from, I don't know what's with production for Log Horizon right now. They fumbling the bag over there. Yeah. And I don't even know about any other really MMO animes
there's
that I can really think of.
Bucci. There's one with the girl with a giant shield. I forget the title of it, but that was, I know, popular for some people.
I maxed out my level of defense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It has but it has like a thing before the little colon, whatever. I forget like what that one is, but yeah, the maxed out defense one. But from what I have seen clips of that, and it doesn't touch this. Basically, I guess all I'm saying is, I still agree with that statement. Obviously, that's not that it's not that bold for me to say that, but
yeah,
I'll say
the dubbed SEO hater. We already know who you are. We know who you are.
I mean, if it came like this, I would be hating. I'd be like, hey, you got it.
No, I'm with you too. I'm with you there. Yeah, this is why I said if SAO just would have stayed with the original premise, not only would it have just been the best MMO style anime, but it would have went down as a classic anime in general. It went down as an all-time classic.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But yes, but no, Shangri-La came and took its place. Its rightful place in that spot, and I'm glad to say, I still agree with that statement that we made when we first talked about it. It finished very strongly, and I'm very excited for when it does come back.
Okay, so we're gonna start off here. We're gonna start off with the characters, right? So throughout this season, we got introduced to a plethora of characters. Who were some of the standout characters for you this season?
Damn, I I want to beat the allegations, but I can't.
Now I want to beat the allegation.
we all
Go
know.
ahead.
We all know the type of person I am when it comes to characters. If you got a badass female character and they slightly crazy, I'm probably gonna be a fan of them. And Pencilgon is no exception because she's just fun.
Yes,
She's
she
just a
is.
really cool, fun character. And yeah, so besides our main character, who I actually really like, I'd have to say she takes the cake in this regard. And I am interested to see like now that they've got this guild going on with like
Mhm.
how their story is going, like them as a group, how their story is going to unfold.
And so let me ask you this: so would you do you like her actually becoming allies with Sunrock, even though we know they was kind of like friends to begin with, but almost like when we first got introduced to her, she was playing like this villain role, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you prefer her to stay more on that end instead of befriending Sunrock and becoming an ally?
I don't know if I'd prefer it, or it would have been an interesting detail, but I don't know if I had like a preference either way. Because to me, I think when she got introduced, like when
Mhm.
the what is it, when his friends who played trash games with him got introduced, I figured in some way, shape, or form eventually they were going to form a guild. I didn't
Mhm.
know how fast that was going to be,
You thought that? Well, hold
but
on. So you thought it was you just saying him and his friend was gonna form a guild, not just all three. That's
no,
what
I
you mean
thought
when you first thought. So you just
I
thought all three. What
yeah,
gave you that impression?
I because she fit the archetype of character, like comes and joins the main character at some point in the story. That
Oh,
was
I guess so. You just saw the cliche coming. You
yeah.
just saw it.
I was, but I didn't know how fast that was gonna happen. Like I didn't think
Okay.
I wasn't even sure it was gonna happen within this first season. It just felt like that was gonna be like a natural progression. Is that eventually, like I like the honest to God, like I thought like what would have been the case, and it's not technically far off from what happened. Is that a
Mhm.
raid was gonna happen or something like some big event, and they were going to like recruit each other because of just how familiar they are with each other's skill or something like that. And I mean, I'm not that far off from what happened, but yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it was technically a raid. I mean, it was a raid boss battle, so
yeah, basically, that's what I
they
said. I was
just
like,
went in with 3 people.
yeah. I was like, technically, I wasn't that far off, but yeah. Yeah, she just, it just, yeah, the cliche just kind of hit
Okay.
there. So that I just figured it was going to happen, but I would have been interesting to see like them play a villain esque role because, like, technically, it's weird. She was like a player killer at first, and it was just funny because I'm just like, if they run this gag that keeps going, it's not gonna be like I like she's not gonna be like an actual true villain, but it's gonna be they're gonna get on each other's fucking nerve more than likely, and that's kind of like how they played it anyway. So I was just yeah, it was nice to see.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they like you said, they act like they weren't friends at first, but you guys are friends. I don't know why y'all acting like that. Y'all friends. Y'all played multiple games together. Stop acting like that, all right? Which is, y'all finally came to the same eye to eye view here, and realize we got like goals in mind. Let's go ahead
Basically.
and make this guild. Let's stop. Let's stop playing. Let's take over Shangri-La Frontier. Us three right here. We can. Who's better than us? We're already at the top of the world right now because we the only people who took out a unique monster. We basically got we access to all this unique gear nobody
Yeah.
even knows in the game exists. And we're probably, besides like the Liberian people that we just met, the game lore guild,
Yeah.
right? Besides them, they're probably one of the only people that has like
That much, yeah,
majority of the
of the lore.
like the high level lore information right now as well. Besides, like I said, besides those people, because they've been already gathering all the game lore as well. So it's a good time. But for me, I do like Pizzagon as well. So I'm glad you picked on her. But for me as well, I do like Ray. So this was his the girl who got a crush on him, right? And so
Mhm.
now I think the reason why she was a standout character for me is just because how they positioned her character. Every time we seen her in the season, she was always there at a intricate point to hold off for basically save some rocket essentially.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, Sega
And so I like
Sega
that.
Zero slash Ray is she's interesting to me because I feel like they played on like the classic trope of like, oh, this girl's got a crush on the main character, but they kind of subvert it because she's one of the strongest players in the game. Like legitimately,
Yeah.
she has the name the Attack Master, which is usually not the case for I feel like the Meek character, but
Yeah.
they did a very interesting thing there, which I really liked.
And then we got to see some of her skills as well, after the Weatherman fight, and she she
Yeah.
got some crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So she was like, "Hey, I'm not holding back against Pistol Guy," and then she unleashed that like dark sword. I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, all right, crazy shit, got
She
it."
already done locked the transformation. What are you? So we got transformations in the game. Why can you transform? Like, what are we doing here?
I'm just
She's
like,
playing an entirely different game than we're playing.
yeah, and I'm in my head, I'm like, I know that the guild she's a part of is technically like focused on Lycagon, but I'm like, these people didn't want to try and fight anybody. No, okay.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But and then as well as I've been messing with all the rabbit NPCs as well. I think just rabbit how do you say
Rabitsuo,
they? Thank you,
Rabitsuo, I think it's
Rabitsua as a whole, Rabitsua.
uh
Their whole little village as a whole is not. It's it's hilarious.
yeah. What I really like, I think I also said this the first thing. Everything about this show feels like something that would happen in a video game, and even though like it's like the way their AI is so complex that they can carry like conversations and stuff like that, regardless of what you say in the show, right? But
Mhm.
like it still feels very video game like stylist wise, like how one of uh, I feel like I'm about to mess up her name. Emule, the rabbit that he travels with, like
Yeah.
one of her sisters is the shopkeep,
Mhm.
and she was trying to strong arm Sonraku into buying more shit, regardless of his like coin level. And I'm like, this is definitely a
She
video
was
game
trying to
trope.
run him for all his coins. She didn't care if you had 10,000 or 50,000. She wanted it all.
Yeah, and he rejected her because he didn't have the money, and she got upset. I'm like, I was like, that happens in so many video games, and it be pissing me off because I can't afford shit. Why you getting mad at me?
You know I'm broke. I just started. This is my third day here. Literally, it was like his third day here.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. This man is broke. He has no money. But yeah, no, it was great. But you know what? Let's just let's get down to the nitty gritty, right? The
Mhm.
one of the main attractions of the season, the Weatherman boss fight. How did you like it? Your thoughts? What did you feel about it? Love it, like it, love it, hate it. For me, I thought it was phenomenal, and I also love the fact it wasn't a one or two episode type of deal, right?
Mhm.
I think we got like 5 episodes for it. I love
Yeah,
that.
it had a lot of parts. It was basically like the main focus of this season. I really enjoyed it. Because like not only from like the game aspect of it, right? It also did a lot to clue us in, I think, on like the story for like the characters. It was like a growing point for them in terms of like ability, them coming together, right? Stuff like that.
Hmm.
But also like the story of the world, because I don't think we like until then, that point in the show, I don't think there was like a lot of like detail about the world and its story, other than like we know that there's seven colossi that are like supposed to be like the like not big bads, but like they're important to Shangri-La Frontier's world, and they're unique, right? And there are even guilds formed around them, stuff like that. And we finally actually get to see into like one's backstory and learn a little bit more about SLF as a whole, like from Rabitsuo to, you know, even like the Colossi Withermon himself, and like how he had a past and stuff, and how that all played out.
Yeah. So, since you kind of mentioned it, let's go ahead and touch on it a little bit before I forget. So, just learning a little bit more about the world itself. So it seems like if I've been paying attention correctly, right? In
Mm.
the game lore, there used to be this ancient civilization. So they're pulling that card. There used to be this ancient,
Yep.
grand civilization that had all this, advanced technology and stuff like that. But they were either wiped out by natural causes or maybe even a war, either internal war,
Mm-hmm.
outside war, whatever. One of those three things, right? But they're gone now. But they have clues and stuff still left around the world of their existence and things of that nature.
Yep. Yep.
Right. Weathermon seems to be at least some type of guard that was in definitely a part of the army back then, but
Yeah.
we found out that his loved one had passed away, and he just dedicated the rest of his life to guarding her grave, and he ended up becoming an undead due to that as well after
Mm-hmm.
he died. um which is kind of crazy as well. So he
Yeah.
basically got hit with a magic, well, I guess you can call it a curse essentially, right?
Yeah, in a way. Mm-hmm. It was like a
Yeah, he
binding vow kind of type thing. Is how I looked at it.
Yeah, because that turned him to an undead. I guess that was saying that's what the curse part of it comes into it. But yeah, I get what you're saying though, because yeah, he made a vow to protect his grave, protect
Mm-hmm.
her grave, not his grave, protect his her grave. But yeah, so no, I thought that was nice as well. And then, so how do you feel about the ancient civilization background they're trying for the story here?
I mean, I think it works. Like, it's kind of in a way, it's a little bit cliche, but like at the same time, it's something that like you can build off of because there's it can go anywhere really in terms of like story wise because the ancient civilization could as they already showed have remnants and that is like certain things you might be looking throughout the world. Parts of it could still be around because
Hmm.
of like the war didn't wipe everyone from the ancient civilization out, but maybe like they were like, oh shoot, we popped off this war, we need to go into hiding. And then later on when you get into the higher levels of the game you learn more about them and that there's still remnants of it or something like that. Like it's an interesting plot point, even though it does come up. I feel like in a lot of things, but it's it plays off of it. You can play off of it very well. I'd say
Yeah.
like it's something you could do almost anything with, right?
Yeah, because like I said, it's a few different ways you can go with about like how they were destroyed and why they were destroyed, right? Why
Mm-hmm.
why they were destroyed. So I agree with you there. It's an interesting plot point. I do like it. But back to the so I guess back to the Withermon fight now, right? So another thing that I loved about the fight was that it actually had boss phases, right? Beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. First phase was just a standard, and they kind of broke it up in different, of course, different objectives. So first phase was just a time survive, right? They had to
Mm-hmm.
just survive for 10 minutes. The second stage was survive as well, but it
But
was
keep
also a condition where keep the rope, keep him
the
and his horse from
horse
combining.
combining. Yeah.
Because if they did combine, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But that was even more interesting because so what do you think? Because we saw that his horse had two transformations. So do you think if he ended up combining with his horse, right? So for example, like phase two,
Mm-hmm.
he ends up combining with his horse, and if you somehow survive, phase three would have been his horse transforming into that robot type mech suit thing, and he would have been piloting that. Do you think that would have
I
happened?
think that that was my thought process was if you somehow survive phase two, I would assume phase three would have been like a almost mech like type of fight with between like him in the mech suit, and then at the end you probably still would have got like what Sanraku did, where you had to fight him. So like you wouldn't have probably have to fight the robot and him separately. Like
So I guess that's the tricky part because, like you said, after it transforms into the little mech part, right?
Mhm.
With the this condition before he starts doing the clear sky, animation with all those spam attacks, right? To the final attack. Before he starts doing that, do we have to um do we have to smash
the mech,
the mech first,
yeah,
or
that was my thought.
will he just go into it after like another 10 minutes or so, right?
My
And then
thought,
now the condition is just passing that attack.
maybe I didn't think about it in the terms of the 10-minute thing, but my thought process was like if he combined and you survive the thing for 10 minutes and he transforms, you'd have to either well I just didn't think about the 10-minute condition, but I thought you like defeat him in the mech form. That would basically be like you basically break it, like you would still get the armor breaking effect and stuff like that, and you would have destroyed the robot part, but like then he would be in his last phase, which is that spamming
sky clear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess so. Yes, essentially to get to stage 4 is, since you allowed me to combine, you got to deal with it now. Destroy the mech in order to push me to my final stand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay,
which
I think I like that a little bit better.
yeah,
and then
I was like, that sounds like a more plausible, like they didn't cheese the fight. They just because they definitely they didn't really like use a glitch or anything. They just used
well, no, they didn't cheese the fight. It sounds like it's a it's a built-in mechanic. If you prevent him from teaming up, you're gonna have an easier time throughout the rest of the fight. But if you don't, you can still beat him, but it's just gonna be a lot harder.
Yeah, I was just acknowledging. I was like, in my head, I'm like, no, cheesing it wouldn't be the right word here. Like, I was trying to think of a different one, but yeah, like that sounds like the more intended. Not intended.
I don't know, because then now we got to meet the programmers. We got to meet the creator, and the programmers, right? So, we saw how the main developer was and how she wanted the game to be kind of hard, and she was actually pissed about how the other person actually ended up nerfing Weathermind, at one point.
And it was so funny because I'm like, I know this is like a thing that happens in real life where programmers are like, they make a character so hard and then they have to scale it back because people couldn't fight it. Yeah, there's no possible way people could have beat it. But that was like, I was so in my head, I'm like, that was it nerfed? The fuck was it gonna do? Like, what the hell?
So that's what I imagined. So that's what I was thinking. Like, unnerfed maybe in he still do the sky clear attacks in his mech form. That'll be
probably.
It probably has some extra moves to it because he in his mech now, right? And it just adds some extra bullshit to it.
Probably.
I wouldn't put it past her that she was like, "No, you can't do them. How are they supposed to beat him?" She said, "He's the undefeatable samurai. You're not supposed to beat him. You're not supposed to beat him." But yeah, so I love the fact that they actually had separate phases and stuff like that. So that was beautiful. And then cool. Another thing that I liked about the boss fight as well was like the actual preparation that went into before the raid, because that is like, it's actual something teens and people will do in real life in MMOs and stuff like that. Raid prep is it's just
I mean, not even like, besides even like MMOs or like raid prep, right? You also have like in other video games where you prep for like a boss. Like if you
you just prep for a boss. Like, okay, this is the strategy I'm gonna go with. If I'm gonna do this, if to get him down to this phase. Once he's get to this phase, I'm gonna start doing this.
Like I was like Elden Ring probably is a good example. Like after you face a boss once in Elden Ring, you have a conversation with yourself before you go back into the fog, right?
Yes.
So I definitely like that too, because I was like, this is it's just so Shangri-La always.
Or you
proves,
say, "Fuck it, we ball." I'm that nigga. Sometimes you just walk back. You just walk back in.
Sometimes that's also very plausible. Sometimes that's also the route. That's also the route. Sometimes you just like, fuck it.
Not finna handle me like that.
Fuck it. And sometimes you just say that. Fuck it, we ball. Right?
Yeah.
And Shangri-La Frontier does a great job, I think, of illustrating that part of the game as well, because in the in the episode with the fucking scorpions, the crystal scorpions, that is exactly what he did. He said, "I know I'm gonna die, but I gotta get these items. So fuck it, we ball." So Shangri-La Frontier constantly proves that how accurate it is to just game in general.
And then they even had some tech in the fight as well. With the heal tech he did, the revive tech, by throwing the revive up in the air, so it'll come back down and hit him. Just beautiful.
Yep. I also another thing I really like about Shangri-La that they do is, if there's ever a use of like player slang or language, they'll give you the definition.
Yeah.
And I was, even if it's like a very common one, like they'll still give you the definition. And I was like, I really like that, because say you're not into like MMOs or
video games and
games
stuff like
that much, but you still wanted to, like, you still found yourself interested in the show. They give you that language. And now if you do ever get into like MMOs or video games, you have a glossary. Like that, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I like that as well. But yeah, and then what else about the Weatherman fight? It was just it was cool. I like how they tag team. First of all, Sunroka, he that boy. All right, he that
Man,
he that dude for
when
because
he
like yeah.
when he changed his mask to the horn thing, I
Mhm.
got really hyped. I don't know why. I was like, oh shit. He ain't never. I was like, he's never done this.
He never pulled out. My boy got a helmet. What?
I was like, shit. Oh shit, about to
Armor?
pop off. We changing strategies now. Okay.
My boy actually putting on armor. I'm like, okay, it's getting real.
Yeah.
And then the fact that the armor actually had practical uses and stuff, like he could parry with the freaking horn off the top of his helmet. It's freaking crazy. Like who thinks of that?
But that happens a lot in like video games where like certain equipment has special properties and can do.
When
special
have you
things or
seen a
even add it
game with a parry helmet? Tell me.
with a parry helmet?
Tell me, where have you point out the game with a parry helmet? Tell me right now.
I feel like there's something.
It might be one, but I don't know about it.
I don't know about it either, but I'm just saying, like, I know in certain games or things like armor sets will even give you like special moves or ability. You know, that's basically what I was like referring to.
Oh, that's basically what you're referring to. Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, but I mean, like it gave him like a new parry because like he already had parry, like a regular parry, right? But it was literally like a specially designed parry for the the helmet.
But I was just making it like drawing that comparison to
just drawing the comparison in general. I feel just certain equipment can have certain new abilities and moves. I guess I see where you come from with that.
Yeah. Parry helmet in actual game, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it exists somewhere. I cannot tell you where though, unfortunately.
not the helmet give you the parry skill. You actually parry with the
special parry
with your fucking helmet. Like, show it to me. It's crazy. Yeah, no, that was nice. But yeah, no, the mechanics in Shangri-La Frontier, they do seem like really crisp, for I guess, a fantasized game. Like if we were to get VR full dive gaming, I would love it to be for something like this because it does seems like it has like a Elder Ring-esque type of combat system to it, right? Because you got blocks, parries, you got criticals, and then it also has an armor system as well. You know,
stamina, rating,
stamina system,
like
magic, MP, skills. It seems like it has a very Elder Ring-esque, at least for the combat system to it. It does. Is what I can feel.
I mean, to defeat a boss, you had to parry at the exact right time, and I want to say that's a thing in Sekiro, if I'm not mistaken. So, definitely a From Software feel. Yeah, I honestly, in my head, I was like, besides all the some of the extra shit that's happening here, Weatherman could be a fucking Souls boss. I could see it.
Yeah. Because I mean, like the spam attack thing, that's what's her name? Not Millennia, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has spam attacks. The one waterfall tornado. Oh, that goddamn move right there. That's a spam attack, but she'll spam that and go directly into some other stuff. Ridiculous, but we whooped her though. If you ain't whooped her yet, I apologize for you, but we whooped her though. And then you got Morgoth who has a lot of spam attacks as well, and he gets crazy with his spam attack. He got AOE spam attacks, so it don't get no better.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm reminiscing a little too hard. I'm also getting hyped for the Elden Ring DLC that's coming up. Ooh, it's this month, ain't it? We get it. Wait, is it this month or next month?
It's June. 2 more months.
Damn, I don't know what.
2 more months.
It's June.
Early June, but 2 more months. 2 more months. We gotta wait 2 more months.
I guess. Let them cook. Let them cook. I understand. But yeah, definitely though, Shangri-La Frontier gives me heavy From Software vibes.
Yeah, just with like MMO wrapped in and around it too. So.
Okay. Oh, you want to head on to the next question here? Well,
yeah.
actually, so 'cause to round off the Withermon conversation, let's round it off with this, right? So
Hmm.
after Withermon was defeated, we come to find out that Withermon was actually a in their quote like a mid tier unique boss. Like he was supposed to be defeated like one. He was supposed to be like one of the last ones to be defeated, and not one of the first ones. And it kind of like throws the story. It's kind of like throwing the story off in a sense.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting
What
that
do you
they
think
say.
about that? Because it seems like they're gonna have to like do some improvise and maybe to the story or maybe structure the gameplay systems. Because ain't no maybe there's no telling like how many systems. Well, we know a lot of systems are actually locked behind. So, like for example, right, the inventory system
Hmm.
was that only locked behind the Withermon fight, or were we gonna unlock this system,
You mean
another way, right? With
you
the
mean
little
the little
with the
X?
little
Okay.
band, yes, yeah.
I I mean, from there, I assume that's locked to the Weathermon fight because of the fact that that was a drop from a unique boss, and they make it very obviously that the seven colossi or whatever are like one of a kind. There's not like
And then
other
on top of that,
iterations of
like
them.
yeah,
So
back to the one of a kind thing. Are these bosses truly one of a kind? Like is Withermon just like completely gone for the game now? Like can he not spawn again? So
that's what I'm thinking because they don't. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking because
like because that's crazy. So it's just like so for
yo.
example, like so if you went in with a raid team, right?
Mhm.
With your whole raid team,
I'm
would it
assuming.
all got access to the inventoria?
I'm assuming they would all got access to the
Because
thing. I would
essentially what I'm
assume
trying to say is like that whole inventory system, and then
because
we know how essentially how you can exploit that now. And they probably wouldn't have, you know, wasn't really anticipating this because they weren't anticipating people to unlock it until later on, right?
mhm.
But on top of that, with the exploit that you could do with, hopping in and out of the teleportation, if it's that exclusive, that's kind of crazy because not only
I mean,
it's almost like hack. Like like Sun Raka essentially has a fucking hack
he does.
that nobody else can even get access to
He
now.
does. He has hammer space. He can just go. He can just go in there and then come out when he wants. Like it's crazy to think about. It most likely, if anything, usually stuff like this it eventually gets nerfed, and that is where I will really be interested to see how how close to
But
a
what I'm
game
saying
this
is,
series gets. Right?
how would they know it's being exploitable? Like, how would you ping it and will get a lot of data on it if only three people
People,
fucking have the
I think
item?
I think that would come down to like other players talking about the item, like specifically. That would be one way, but yeah, no, I mean, so well, that Shangri-La is very interesting. It's because it's a crazy thing because it's like, yeah, our unique monsters are extremely unique to the point, like they're truly the definition of it, right? So that is an interesting plot point there, and then two, um, I do. It's they made the world story for the game tied to
Hmm.
these monsters,
Unique monsters, yeah.
right? So it's like it's just very interesting to see like what that will do because like when they defeated Weathermon, it went up by 2%. It went up to 12%, but like it was at 10 already or something like that, I think, or whatever.
Yeah.
So what like and everybody was trying to figure out like what does this mean? What does that do? Because like no one could tell what the changes were besides the fact that Weathermon
Was
is no
defeated.
longer is no longer there. So it's like as the story evolves, I would like to see like what impact that had and how that will continue to
Yeah,
go
100%.
about.
Because, like I said, there's no telling. Because, like, for instance, what if they also opened up a new area by defeating Weathermon that they just don't necessarily know about right now, right? But it a lot because they
Hmm.
defeated him. You can now go to this new area. You just gotta basically discover it, though.
I mean, that's
Stuff like that.
that could be a
Because that's
possibility.
essentially what with stuff like that would happen, especially with the whole ancient civilization whole background, especially with that being
I mean,
tied
they
to
probably
the unique monsters and stories as well. Like what if a special, like a essentially a special zone tied to them has been a lot now because you defeated a unique monster.
I mean that could be a possibility because yeah, I mean that's a very common thing in games. It's just that they it's weird that they tied them to the story, but it also didn't seem like it stops people from progressing because like you could go it wasn't like Weatherman was blocking a specific route. Like it was a thing that
Correct.
you chose to engage in. So it would the special area could be the fucking hammer space band itself. But then again, who knows? Only time will tell once like this as the series continues.
I mean, well, of course, yeah, that's a special area in itself because I'm pretty sure the whatever they're gonna call it. Did we get a name for the people from? I believe we did. I just can't remember what
I'm
their
blanking
name
on.
are.
If we did get a name, I'm blanking on.
But I'm pretty sure they probably use that space, for numerous things, right? And there's probably other spaces like it, similar, but you just maybe need like a separate band to exit that space, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
But then it's just stuff like even like the Weatherman skills. So are you saying like that's also a one of a kind unique drop thing? So is only Suraka would be able to learn this man's skills now? Like
again, I think
I'm just thinking because like stuff like this in like real life, like this would piss people off. Like as cool as it is,
definitely.
right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure
it's cool as hell
in the actual
but
game.
This
though.
would piss people off.
But like I think in the series I don't know when he'll learn these skills. Yeah. But like I'm pretty sure it's pissing people off it's gonna piss people off in the actual universe because Sanraku already he unlocked a unique scenario that no one else knows about. Like he's the only motherfucker allowed to walk around with a rabbit. So and people were mad at that. So I'm pretty sure when they find out that all three of them have a fucking treasure trove of gear and special skills that only they can use, I'm pretty sure people are gonna be upset. I'm pretty sure it's that. But
what do you mean only they get to learn these skills?
Exactly. So like, but I also at the same time, like after meeting the person who designed the whole game, I think that might have been their intention because just kind of seems like their thing.
But then I also asked that because so for example, because you get lore bits for defeating the unique monsters, stuff like that, right? So how do the rest of the gaming community, how do they get access to the lore? Would it have to be some way of like, what the gaming the game lore libraries, claim what they're doing? Would it have to be a route like that? Like,
yeah, that's
people,
my thought process.
Just, the community coming together and spreading the lore, like it got to be a better way than that. Like, or is it of a they did do that major announcement, that Weatherman was defeated, right? But did they also give like a major announcement for like the lore behind it as well? Like, now here's the lore that goes, the reason and stuff with it,
They didn't do that, but also I think that's why like it sucks because this was like the cliffhanger of the season. That professor person approached Sanraku. I think it was to find out like for him to basically, hey, tell me like, the lore about this because that's how we spread it. And other video games do that where like, for instance, any of the Souls games, they do have a central story, but they don't tell it to you directly. And so a lot of the community does a lot of like this, like,
okay, well, yes, but the difference with that is that's a single player game.
Yeah,
right?
No, you're not wrong. And again, this is a game in a manga/anime. I'm pretty sure like a lot of stuff wouldn't fly. It couldn't. There wouldn't like if you as a programmer walked into like pitched this game idea to a company or something, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of them would be like, "This is great on paper," but the thing is, this is a product that we have to sell to multiple people. And if you're about to tell me that a boss that gives you unique drops
can only be beaten one time,
they're rioting in the street.
they're riding in the fucking streets
because people are selfish, all right, and they are going to want a chance to get that shit for themselves. Ain't no goddamn way. So, I think that like as cool as it sounds, it definitely could not work as a real game. Like that aspect of it
in
could not
practical
work
sense.
because
I would like to think because like you said, like if Shangri-La, for instance, got made, like would it be a good game like for the transferring from anime to real life essentially? And
I think it would be, but I think certain aspects of it would not be allowed, such as the unique monster thing. Like that is too like
they'll still be a thing, but they'll be respawnable, right?
Yeah,
it's not just
that's
you defeat them and it's done, right? Of course, like maybe once you defeat him for the first time, then of course it unlocks like pushes the world forward like it's supposed to do and stuff like that. But after that, of course, he then becomes like essentially like a farmable boss in a sense.
Because I'm just saying, like from an aspect of like playing, you join a game, somebody tells you about this cool thing that happens or this cool boss, and then you're like, oh shoot, where can I? I'm this level. I'd like to learn those skills. Where can I try? Where can I get them? Oh, that nigga died. Yeah, there was this raid group that came and they wiped it. They the only ones that with that skill you cannot get it anymore. I'd be like, excuse me, excuse me. Like this wasn't an event that I missed. I missed a boss that was programmed into this game from its inception. Yes.
And then think about it like that. Then like you just miss out like the whole experience and everything, right? Because one, you don't get to do the experience of the fight itself, and then like you don't even get to see it visually, right? Like you don't even know what it looks like visually either. Like
yeah.
Not only did you were you not able to experience it, but because of like the way this game is built, now we can't even experience it visually either. Because it's just gone. And it's like there's no record of it anywhere. But these three people beat it, right? So it's just kind of a crazy concept to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, it's great. I mean, like on paper, sounds good. Like I get it. Like even like to me that would be appealing in a small way. But like when you think about it in real life, I'm like, that's kind of that's bogus. Right? So
yeah, see, because like how I think about it, like for example, right, with Destiny 2, right? When new raids and stuff come out, like the main lore for that expansion stuff is like locked behind the completion of the raid, right?
mm-hmm.
But the lore that comes out of that, you don't have to beat the raid yourself in order to see that. When the new raid is beat for the first time, it's the new video is automatic unlocked for the entire player base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, beautiful. Why can't we have done something like that for Shangri-La? So now we can at least, even though we're not gonna get to experience it for our first sense, like playing it physically, right? We could at least still experience it, like like I said, visually, and still get the information and knowledge from it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're still in the first season of the thing, so I mean, that could come later. Like we could find out later on that they at least do show other people within like the game world like the lore about it or in some way, shape, or form or fashion. But also sometimes I know when people make games, they have like an intent for stuff to happen, and they could have done this as an intent of like player, like an actual community.
Oh, actual player community type thing. Yeah, because we figured that. Yeah,
we could find out that Sunraku, and then after he learns the Weathermon skills, he could potentially teach it to other players.
That'll be cool. Become like a teacher type thing.
Yeah.
That'll be a cool system. Actually learning skills from other players and not NPCs.
Yeah, like because I was just thinking, like if they're like you had mentioned, it's kind of bogus for that to be locked behind a boss you can't fight no more. But what if it isn't? And the fact that the thing is, they were trying to foster community by, if you do these things, you could potentially share these like things with like other players, or in some way, shape, or form or fashion. Like if you unlock skills, you could teach them to other people. That's just a thought. But like I know people have done that with games before, where they've done certain things because they wanted the player base to like
and they could also do it. They could also have it to where like maybe because it's almost like he learned let me put it like this: Weathermon learned his skills from somewhere, right? What if there's more information, how his sword fighting technique somewhere like in an ancient one of those ancient civilization vaults or something, right? Besides, something like that. So maybe that'll be like another way for other people to learn his skill as well. Like instead of learning it directly from, the Weathermon fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure there could be other routes. We just don't know. But like, yeah. I feel like we've probably spent too much time debating the logistics of this game, though.
That's what we was here for.
Yeah, I mean, partially, yes, because that is a part of the series. But yeah. Yeah, but I guess besides like moving away from the Weathermon fight, like, were you happy, I guess, with how, season 1 wrapped up and everything?
Yes and no. So like, for example, one of the things that were introduced throughout this season was a new expansion as well, right? But we didn't get to see, from the audience side of things, we didn't get to see anything from the new expansion at all.
Yeah,
because the new expansion was also part of like their um their camouflage to go fight with them on as well, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a
But
plot. It was a plot device more than like an actual thing that happened.
yeah, but yeah, no, but it sounded like it was like it added like new activities and features and stuff to the game as well. Like it
I mean,
had
it did.
because I think it had some it said something about like the sea or something. So I think it was like a new feature with like boats and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we also
But
saw part of it. Well, part of a new feature get used because when Sanraku stabbed himself, it activated like the new luck ability or something that triggers based on like
yeah,
health. So like we got to see that. But yeah, I will say we did. I would have been nice to kind of see what was going on with the new expansion. But I mean, I get it from a story standpoint why we didn't. So I'm not too
yeah.
upset about that.
So definitely next season, looking forward to see what if they can just maybe explain a little bit more about what the expansion was. If it was if any significance, maybe it was just only brought up truly because they need an excuse to kind of like I said, use it as their camouflage. So maybe it's not nothing deeper than than that.
Yeah. Um, I was pretty. On the flip side, I liked how it ended. I am a little bit perturbed by like the type of cliffhanger we got because I'm just like, this does not feel that big enough to drop to like leave me waiting for another season for. But
yeah,
they had to choose somewhere to end it, and I kind of get it. Like the big thing for the season already happened, so it's like where do we
where do we
where
end
can
it
you
off
draw the
at?
line? Yeah,
Yeah.
where do we draw the line really? Because
I don't know. Maybe you draw the line with them having their first big meeting or something, and then after the game lore, leader learns about all this new information. He leads to he learns about this new discovery because the information that he get that he gets from Sunraka and other kind of basically fits into this other puzzle piece that they've been working on for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, oh, now we got access to this now, and then we just boom cliffhanger. What is this? I don't know, some ancient new zone or just more new text. We got information on a new unique monster we never heard about before. We finally unlocked his, discovered at least his name.
Yeah,
Because we do know we're supposed to be. There's one name we did get that we're supposed to be looking into. I can't remember his name, but we got that name at the end of the Weatherman fight. We're supposed to be looking to that person's name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So that'll be interesting as well. Maybe they could have ended it with that. Like maybe the location of where that person was, who we're supposed to be looking for. Maybe they could have ended on cliffhanger like that or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yep. Yeah, that'd probably be.
But I mean, overall, am I mad at the ending? No. But
yeah.
it was just like you said earlier, just a weird cliffhanger.
Yeah, I was just like, this just feels like a weird one to end off on for a season. If this was an episode, I get that. That'd be understandable.
I get it. Yeah.
We'll have no way season 2, but overall, season 1 great. Anything you looking for specifically for like season 2? Any like thing?
Well, I mean, since they already told us this Lycagon fight, man, I'm ready.
That would, yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that because I thought I figured we was gonna get it. Like it wasn't gonna be like an in-game boss, but I didn't think we was gonna get it this soon, though. Right?
Well, I don't know if he'll beat it this time. I think it's just a rematch.
Or a rematch because they didn't. Yeah, he might not necessarily beat it because they did just say it's just the rematch is coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's actually gonna beat him. Okay, I give you that because maybe this go around they when they go to fight him again. Of course, it's the rematch, but maybe they also actually discover the
some lore about
his encounter trigger. Because right now nobody knows the trigger. Like they know where he spawns, but they don't know the trigger to the spawn though.
Yeah, because they were asking. That was one of my favorite parts when they were asking Sanraku basically how he got the marks and the Ribitsuo thing, and he explained his fight with it was like, you're basically telling me to catch lightning. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm assuming the trigger for to get the mark is maybe you either deal enough damage to him or you survive enough for enough time before you die.
That was my thought process for the mark, but I was like, yeah, it would be. I am interested to see.
But the mark itself, that's kind of a crazy. That's kind of a crazy mechanic as well, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's using it to his advantage, and we've seen like the ways you can use it to your advantage. So it does have its upsides as well. But
You gotta think.
I would like for the average player, if they would have fucked around and got something like that on them, like at the beginning of the game, that would have crumbled them.
Yeah, you're making
that would have crumbled them.
You're making
made
a new account. Yeah, you're making a new account after that. There's no way for the average person.
That would have crumbled them. I can't equip armor. What?
All right, but lastly here, any closing remarks or opinions on the show before we move on?
Let me go through our docket here. Okay, we hit up on everything. Okay, yeah, we hit up on everything. Yeah. I mean, Shangri-La Frontier was a good time. It is now officially the best MMO anime out there. I mean, because just like I said, the way the world building is in this show is beautiful, and then just for the fact that the author actually took the time to build in real life game mechanics and actually flesh them out. Like the mechanics in this game are fleshed out, and you can see because of the way we just had a deep discussion about all the different mechanics in the game and stuff, right? So like the mechanics in this world for the game are hella fleshed out, and I actually love for the fact, like you can tell like the author actually sit down and took the time to essentially build like a world within his world, right? So
yeah,
he actually made a game. He actually, thought about all the different game mechanics and stuff like that, and how it will flow and and interact with the world itself in the story. It's just amazing, right? Because even SEO in itself, they don't go this deep into like all the game mechanics and stuff like that, right? Like, of course, they have them to explain the little mechanics they have, but they don't go this
deep. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I was basically about to say the same thing. I was like, as much as I like the show itself, what really like draws me into it, and like what makes me feel like it probably is like one of, if not the best, game focused anime, is just like the world, like the building of Shangri-La Frontier in itself, and like how you could envision yourself playing an MMO like this, right?
Yes.
Like it's not hard at all. Like they definitely took their time to craft this, and it just shows.
And then on top of that, the animation for this show is beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful. Like, oh, it's so good. Like I didn't expect like this level of quality to be like throughout the entire season, but like they kept the level of quality throughout the entire season. It was amazing. And then don't even get me started on the Weathermon fight, right? Like
they popped off with that.
The animation for that fight, amazing. All 5 episodes, amazing for that. Like they popped off with that. Like it's just, and I think they have been doing a nice job of the CGI as well, because they use it. It's not in every scene, but they use it here and there. And so in the scenes that they have been using the CGI, I think they've done a nice job using it and knowing when to use it. Right? Is because like majority of the show is 3D hand drawn animation, but of course some stuff they probably just prefer maybe that they think is easier to do in CGI. I guess technically, like for example, Scorpion Diamonds, maybe they would be a little bit easier to do in CGI, especially like the way they're animated and stuff too. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they did a good job balancing that. But so thank you all for listening to our Shangri-La Frontier review. With that, everyone, we'll be getting into Ace's favorite part of the episode. GOC news. Your weekly source for the latest anime news.
Oh my gosh! I guess I'll let him roll with that. I'm sorry, everybody, for letting him do the intro this time. I didn't. He didn't tell me. He didn't tell me. He just snuck it. But let's get into it. All right, everybody. So for this week for news, we don't have much, but we got a few things. So we're starting off with general news here. The Funimation app / site has officially been shut down. It's over, kids. It's gone. Thoughts on that, McMillian?
I think we talked about it a little bit. I'm sad to see it go for the simple fact of Funimation had one of the best taglines Funimation you should be watching. That's like permanently burnt into my brain. Yeah, and I do feel for the people that won't be like it got a raw deal in terms of like their digital content not moving over, and however that checks out, because they really they need to figure out how to make that right. But yeah, it's sad to see it go, but it everything on it should now be on Crunchyroll, so it is a bonus. It just kind of sucks for people that probably didn't want to like switch over to Crunchyroll. So yeah.
All right. And so, next up from there, after a 5-year hiatus, the Terraform manga resumes. Everybody on April the 4th.
Terraformers. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. So you want to explain a little bit about what Terraformers is? Because I have no idea what this
don't know?
is, but okay. I don't know. I don't know.
So
but I know you know though.
So Terraformers is a series. It was not the extremely popular anime, but like it's a series where basically these, if I'm not mistaken, I believe these scientists were sent to a different world that they were trying to figure out if humans could inhabit, but they found out that these weird mutated roaches were living, and they were like, oh shit, we gotta destroy this place so that we can move like humans here. We have to destroy them so we can move, like get humans here. And to do that, they infused animal DNA into people to fight against these mutated. Again, wild concept, but it was the anime for it was somewhat like popular, and then the manga went on hiatus, and I believe the like anime finished.
So what you're telling me is this is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi show,
yeah,
where the main characters fight against mutated roaches.
Yep.
And they accomplish this by becoming mutated I guess essentially demi-humans, if you will.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Anime. Yeah. So fairly popular manga is back.
And you said this was fairly popular.
Yeah. It lasted. It didn't get canceled after 5 years.
So when you say roaches, do you mean like roaches, or like different type of beast? They just call them roaches.
No, they. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, they're basically roaches. They look like people though, but they are roaches.
Okay, so they look like people, so they don't look like a roach.
No, they look like people. Like,
so that's what I'm saying. So basically, like a different type of thing.
I apologize if I'm about to traumatize people. This is what they look like.
I don't know if I needed that in my life. Why?
I was hoping my camera would like refocus on the face. There you go.
Why is that?
I had it for a second.
Yeah, you had it for a second, but why is that? I kind of get the gist of where you're coming from, or what it looks like, and I'm okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and so you're saying there's an anime for this too?
Yeah, the anime as well. You can look it up. Terraformers. It's on. I believe it's on Crunchyroll. So. This is not a weekly recommendation. I'm just delivering the news.
Learn something new every day, everybody. Well, once again, the Terraformer mangas is back off hiatus. Is gonna be coming back on April the 4th. Do with that information what you will.
Yeah.
Moving on, we want to talk about some new series that's getting announced here. You want to start us off here for the new series?
Yeah. So by the time this releases, actually by the time it's recording, these shows are already out. But Remonster, an isekai anime is getting an English dub same day that it's subbed come out. So simulcast. Is it simulcast? I thought it was simul-dub.
I'm about to say, is the technical term simul-dub or simulcast?
I know
what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, that came out on April 1st, as well as God's Game We Play anime.
Okay.
There's also getting a simul-dub, and it came out on April 1st. And then lastly, Crunchyroll announced a new series called Studio Apartment Good Lighting, Angel Included. Apparently this aired last Saturday, I don't know what it's about other than this person I think got like a new studio apartment and an angel lives with them. So if that sounds interesting to you, maybe check it out.
I don't know. The last time about a guy in his apartment with angels, that show wasn't too good.
Oh,
Platinum Man.
Yeah, Platinum Man. For a second, I'm like Angel Beats, but that I don't think they moved.
They're about to say last time we had a similar synopsis that it didn't turn out too well.
Yeah, that was in my opinion, that was a miss.
It did not turn out too well. But okay. So that's interesting. But yeah, so those some new series that are coming out for this spring season, and like McMillian, you just said, majority of them, or if not all three of them, already have their episode 1 already out. So you go and check them out. But for some new and upcoming releases that also just got announced recently, everybody, and we just got done talking about this. Season 2 of Shangri-La Frontier has been announced. Everybody's gonna be coming out fairly soon, actually, in my opinion. October 2024. I didn't think we was gonna get season 2 this year. I'm not even gonna hold you guys. I thought we weren't gonna get season 2 until next year. So I'm actually hella surprised that we're getting season 2, especially because for the fact that the first season was 24 episodes, 25 episodes.
25 episodes.
I was not expecting another season this year. So I'm actually hella surprised and both hella happy as well that this got announced.
Yeah, no, same. I was very surprised that we were going to get one this year.
Yeah, because I mean, I knew we was getting a season 2, but like I said, I'm surprised that it got announced for this year. Not that we got a season 2. I'm just surprised that we're getting season 2 this year.
Mm-hmm.
But next, also a season 2 that got announced. We got Solo Leveling season 2 that got announced. And I'm not mistaken, that's also going to be coming out later on this year.
I didn't see a confirm on like if it was this year or not. I wouldn't be surprised though, considering
I believe
Solo Leveling.
We got like I'll do a live check and I'll come back to you guys on that. But I believe Solo Leveling got announced
for this year as well. I just know it got announced. It's confirmed that we're getting season 2. It's gonna have the subtitle "Arise from the Shadow." And
or maybe we didn't. I could be tripping.
Yeah, and it got a little small PV as well, like a promotional video. So if you're interested in checking that out. And then lastly, for upcoming releases, Baki Hanma got announced to have a sequel called Bakido. Not sure when that's coming out, but if you're a Baki Hanma fan, the story will be continuing at some point.
Okay. That's about that that high schooler that goes into like the boxing arena, stuff like that, right? He becomes a fighter.
Yeah, basically. I mean, as basically as I can put it, but you probably see clips of it online. Really muscular people doing some insane shit.
Not really muscular people doing insane shit.
That's how I categorize the show.
Oh, you guys are ridiculous. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was just finishing up this live check for the season 2. Season 2 is set to release in the 4th quarter 2024. So yeah, I think we did.
Okay.
I think it's like
it just doesn't have
release.
A month. Like,
yeah, no, it doesn't have a month.
Okay.
But I think it's a fall release for season 2 of Solo Leveling.
Yeah, now that doesn't surprise me because Solo Leveling only had 12 episodes, so it kind of made sense for them to come back this year because that's usually how they do stuff like that. If it has 12 episodes and it gets a second season or a second core, it usually comes back. If not immediately, usually like the later half of the year. Okay.
All right. Well, then I guess I wasn't gonna talk about this because we already talked about this, but I believe this is new information right here. But anyway, so you guys already know about this, but My Hero Season 7 premieres on May 4th, but there's gonna be a special compilation video premiering on April the 6th. Do you know more about that? Is that essentially like a catch-up episode they're
kinda doing? From what it sounded like, it was gonna when I read the article, it sounded like there were gonna be a special episode that basically just compiled like some of the big events from the previous seasons.
I'm about to say like, big events from from like everything, or just like
so.
the last season.
It said from previous season. So okay. I'm pretty sure it's just kind of like a thing to kind of generate hype for the new season. that releases this season. The season 7 that releases within the spring season of anime. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's kind of like what they're trying to do. It's not like I don't think it's going to be like a recap episode per se, but more of like like it's a compilation.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I guess just maybe to kind of do like a get ready for the new season type thing.
That's what it seemed like when
that happened so far.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like when I read it.
But that is the end of news, everybody. We're going to head on to our last topic of the day, the weekly recommendation. Take it away, McMillian. Hopefully we got us a new weekly recommendation this week.
I believe this is new.
You believe this is new? Okay.
I do believe this is new because I think I've talked about it on the podcast, but I don't think I've actually used this as a thing. But it's another isekai.
Okay.
Have you ever beefed with God so much he put you in a different world?
Oh my.
If that sounds interesting, I might suggest to you Saga of Tanya the Evil. Basically, this anime is somewhat what I explained. A guy, he gets murdered, and he, in his final moments, he has a conversation with God, and he is such a devout, like, non-believer that he's like, I don't know who you are, but you're not him. You're not the creator. There is no creator. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking? I'm talking to you right now. He's like, no, I don't believe it. And so to convince him to convince the guy that he's real, God reincarnates him as a small child in a world with magic. And basically this character, after reincarnating, is like, holy shit, this motherfucker did put me in a different world. And he basically finds out like this world is like I said, a world that contains magic, but also the place he reincarnated in is a place that's currently at war with a different nation. And so he sees his chance to basically like accumulate power by becoming a well-known soldier within like this world's military. And it's very interesting because for magic to work for him, he has to pray to God. And wild stuff just happens basically after that. But it's an action fantasy isekai type thing with that sprinkle of pettiness in there.
Okay, because I know I've seen this on like Crunchyroll and stuff like that before, but I just never watched it. So, that's interesting to learn that that's what it's about. I don't know what you give it out of 10.
Out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8.
Give it an 8?
Yeah, it's a very strong show. It has, I believe, the first season. I think the first season is around 12 episodes, if not more, and then it has a movie, and it's actually a very interesting show.
Is the story finished? Like it's just that one season story, or is it
like I said, it's got
where like the anime never adapted all the material?
Basically, it's kind of like 86, like it's based on a light novel, and they did a good amount of the story, but I don't think they've covered all of it because I don't think it's done.
Please don't tell me that, because 86 need to come back for a season 2. Please do not compare that to 86. We need 86 to come back for season 2.
It's been I don't know how many years.
It's okay. It's only been. I hope it hasn't been multiple years. Don't do me like this. Do not take me right now.
I'm not trying to.
I know for a fact that it better not have been multiple years since 86 has aired. I'm gonna cry. Okay. Well, nonetheless, everybody, this week's group recommendation, Saga of Tanya the Evil. That's all we have for today, everybody. So I guess to round us out here, we just want to remind everybody that so we're probably gonna put the poll out next week, but we want you guys' help for the picking the spring featured show of the season for spring 2024. Mm-hmm. So once again, the winter 2024 featured anime was Fear and Beyond's Journey's End, and essentially what a featured anime for the podcast just means is that we'll just follow along with that that show for the entire season, essentially, while we, while we talk about other stuff. So no matter what we're talking about every week, we're going to be talking about the feature show as well. Plus, whatever else the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, basically. So next episode, you can expect we're going to be doing a review of Solo Leveling and talking about our watch list. So I don't necessarily say you need to pick something from either of our watch lists for us to follow, but probably help.
It probably will help, yes.
Yeah, if it's something that we're both already interested in for this season, but we plan on talking about that next week. Yeah, look forward to that. But with all that being said, guys, I'm going to take us on out of here. As always, appreciate you for watching us / listening. If you're on the audio only platform, consider giving us a follow, as well as reviewing the episode. It helps us out. As well as stopping over to YouTube, and following what I'm about to tell the YouTube people. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz helps us grow. And we greatly appreciate all the support. If you would like to stay up to date on all things about the council, please consider following us on our social media. That is at Gurren Otaku's on Twitter /X, and Gurren Otaku Council on everything else. Again, with all that being said, guys, I appreciate you for watching. Continue to enjoy the anime season. This is Gurren Otaku Council saying meeting adjourned. Peace out, everybody.